my name is Youbab Ijaz. Chinese people call me Yobo, so you can call me Yobo. I hope you all are doing very well. So guys, today the topic I selected for my presentation is thick skin and thin skin. So let's start. I hope this will be informative for you and I will not going to make you guys bored. So let's start. The content I'm going to share with you all in this presentation is introduction of skin, thick skin, thin skin, thick skin versus thin skin, thick skin under low magnification, thin skin under low magnification, thin skin with staining of acne, Verhoeven, and melanin, and in the last, hair follicles. Introduction of the skin. So, what skin is? So, skin is the largest and the heaviest organ of the body. It consists of three main layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and hypodermis. The main difference is the thickness of the epidermis and dermis, which are the top two layers of the skin. Now, thick skin. What thick skin is? Thick skin has a thinner dermis than thin skin and does not contain any hair follicles, apocrine sweat glands, or sebaceous glands. Thick skin also contain no erector pili muscles, which cause goosebumps. Location. So where they are exactly located. Thick skin is only found in areas where there is a lot of abrasion, fingertips, palm, and the soles of your feet. Thick skin. Thin skin cover most of the body except on the soles of the feet and palms of the hands and contain fewer cellular layers than thick skin. Thin skin can vary in thickness in different parts of the body. It also contains hair follicles, sweat glands, and sebaceous glands. Now, where they are located, they cover mostly of the body, particularly thin across the eyelids, and thin skin is nearest to the upper back. Now, differences between thick skin versus thin skin. So, what is thick skin's differences? The skin from the palm and soles, so named because of its relatively thick epidermis, occurs on the soles of feet, palms of hands, and surface lining of the fingers and toes. Thick epidermis, thick malpighian layers, and granular layer. Very thick horny layer has a lucidum layer. Lack hair follicles, lacks erector pili muscles, thin dermis, lack of sebaceous glands, has numerous spirally coiled sweat glands, denser sensory receptors, contain both ridges and furrows on the surface, contain regular dermal papillae, more restricted to mechanical abrasion. Now, if we go to thin skin, so they have uh, the skin from areas of the body other than the palm and sole, so named because of its relatively thin epidermis. They covers the rest of the body, whereas thick skin only covers the sole of your feet, palms of hand, and surface lining of the fingers and toes. Thin epidermis, whereas thick skin have very thick epidermis, thin malpighian layer and granular layer. Very thin horny layer lack a lucidum layer, where and thick surface, thick skin, they have a horny layer has a lucidum layer. But here there is a lack of lucidum layer. They contain hair follicles where in thick skin they have lack hair follicles. But here they contain hair follicles. Contains rectopelli muscles attached to hair follicles, whereas in thick skin, the thick skin they have lack of extrapelli muscles. They have thick skin. They have thick dermis, contains sebaceous glands, fibrous sweat glands, sparser sensory receptors, lacks ridge and furrows on the surface, contain irregular dermal papillae, performs the other functions of the skin. Now, thick skin under low magnification material. So the material is the palm of hand and soles of the feet from human. Staining. We stain the preference section with Ijaz staining. Objective. Master the structure of epidermis and dermis. Observation. The superficial area with deep red and purple staining is the epidermis. Underneath the epidermis, the pink area containing dermis and subcutaneous tissue. Observation. Low magnification observation. Epidermis. First of all, before uh, reading the epidermis, I would like to show you epidermis. Wait. Epidermis. So this is the epidermis of thick skin. Now moving back to the presentation. So yeah, epidermis is a keratinized, stratified, squamous epithelium. From the basal layer to the surface of epidermis, there are total 5 layers. Stratum basilae, stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and stratum corneum. Now, I would like to show you this layers. Look, this one is the stratum basilae. So this is a single layer of germinal cells resting on the basement membrane which is attached to the dermis. Now we will move to the stratum spinosum. So they are the stratum spinosum keratinocytes attached to each other by demosomes on spiny process. Now moving forward to the stratum granulosum. So this is the stratum granulosum. Keratinocytes with numerous basophilic keratinoline granules in their cytoplasm. Now moving to the stratum corneum. This is the stratum corneum, thick layer of dead cells devoid of nuclei and organelles. Now moving back to our presentation. Now dermis. Before starting the dermis, let's have a look of the dermis. So this is the dermis, guys. So this is the dermis. Dermis, and then layers of the dermis. Will go here in coming slides. So first we'll go with this. So what is dermis? The dermis is a dense connective tissue, consists of papillary layer, the reticular layer, from the superficial to the deep. The papillary layer is composed of fine connective tissue and protrude into the basal lamina of epidermis by many papillary ridges. The reticular layer is composed of irregular dense connective tissue. There are coarse and interlacing bundles of collagen fiber, some larger blood vessels, nerve bundles, ducts, and secretory portion of sweat glands in this layer. Subcutaneous tissue, a loose connective tissue rich in adipocytes. Now let's have a look to the dermis. So this is the dermis. This one is the papillary layer that projects into the dermis. Okay, and this one is the dermal papillae, increased addition between epidermis and dermis. This one is the papillary capillaries. They bring nutrients to the epidermis, and this one is the reticular layer. They are dense irregular connectives and eccrine sweat glands. Colloid, yeah, colloid tubular gland with simple or stratified cuboidal epithelium. And this one is the hypodermis. This one we will go further, but before you look, just have a look to the hypodermis. This one is the hypodermis, loose connective tissue with adipose tissue. So we will discuss this later. Just ignore this one. Just for your information, I just show you. Okay. So thin skin under low magnification. Now it's time for thin skin. First we covered thick skin. Now it's time for thin skin. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So here the material we used is skin of a human finger and scalp. Staining. So sorry guys, I told you that I will show you the hair follicles images, but I forget that I just end up. So I'm really sorry. This is the hair shaft. This one is the hair shaft. This one, hair shaft cells grow from the hair bulb, dies, and lose their cellular detail. The cortex is composed of keratinized cells with melanin, while the medulla contains vacuolated cells. Now, internal root sheath. This is the internal root sheath. Only extends from the hair bulb to the level of sebaceous gland. The cellular details also became less defined. Huxley's layers, single or double layer of flattened cells. I already explained you that in my presentation. Hanley's layer already I explained you. And this one is the external root sheath. This is the external root sheath. Layers of cells continues with the epidermis, and this one is the glassy membrane. This is the glassy membrane. So thick basement membrane that separates the hair follicle from the dermis. So this is the end, guys. Thank you so much. Wait, there is something. Yeah, I forget hair bulb. So this is the hair bulb. Let it be focus. I thought ah, just give me a few minutes. Yes, this is the hair bulb. A hair bulb contains a layer of basal epithelial cells that produce the cells that became the hair shaft and the inner root sheath. The epithelium is in I'm sorry. Um, yeah, the epithelium is invaginated by a papillae of connective tissues that brings nutrients to the growing epithelium. A rector muscle. So they are attached to the hair. This is the rector muscles attached to the hair follicles that cause hair to stand on end. Small muscles. These are the small muscles, guys. This one is the small muscles. Sebaceous gland. So this is the sebaceous gland. They produce a lipid-rich secretion called sebum that is released into the hair follicle. Large cells, let me show you the large cells. These are the large cells. Large cells with a central nucleus and a foamy appearing cytoplasm. And in the least, the eccrine sweat gland. So this is the eccrine sweat gland. Colloid tubular sweat producing glands and ducts with simple or stratified colloid epithelium. So this is my presentation. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Bye bye.